Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. We did. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. We're trying to validate settings. And fuck around with Streamlabs a little bit. Get it set up to actually be useful. And figure out approximately how close my microphone has to be to my face in order to well, pick up the voice. Because I can't be half as loud as I used to be. So, yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. Alright, let's see here. We are. Yep, that looks like it is alive. Good, good. Screening, that's fine. Clusterfuck is software used in order just to make one stream sound half reasonable. Or at least, you don't just hear that in the background where my microphone just tries to die. So, as you can see here, we have been setting up an account to log away in Mauritania. The main has effectively done everything there is. And if anything is to be believed here, there's not much left for me to do. I've completed the Blood Moon Rising quest. I just need to learn Nightmare, Vasani's Nightmare specifically. And then we've been putting in some top KC. I think we're up to 40 KC in top right now. So, well, nothing's green logged. There's not much left except a lot of just repetitive PVM. And frankly, it is kind of the best part of RuneScape. A lot of people don't seem to mind watching it. I'll definitely be streaming it here and there. But for an account build that isn't going to have a hell of a lot available outside of just Mauritania, here's the plan. We're going to have Lumbridge. And this section of the Lumbridge one, because Death's Office, right? Permanently unlocked. So we'll technically be able to fish salmon. Mine some tin and copper. And in theory, I could grapple across here into this section of desert for Alcarid. That's it. So there's really nothing you can do here outside of just having a different general store, access to different pub, and an altar. Probably going to use the house altar instead to recharge prayer more often than not. From there, obviously Remington, because that is where the house is. So that if I get the materials to train prayer, what I can do is use the phylus here to do the classic note and unnote method back and forth forever. Granted, that does unlock the ability to mine iron here, or get some gold if I need it. Some clay, because you need soft clay for a bunch of things in construction, which will be nice. And then technically, I think I could pick onions and cabbages and wheat, but not much I can do with that. We'll have Birthwarp for access to Grommel's Hilt and Defenders. That's kind of all we're going to use that for. So once we're allowed in the Warriors Guild, we'll access get access to doing the Warriors Guild basement for Dragon Defenders. So we can use the Avernic from top. More importantly, access to Grommel's Hilt, so that if we ever unlock enough CAs for tier 2, we can get a reduction of prayer points being drained in barrows. I don't think we're going to have access to it, but we'll see. Yeah. Then obviously, Mauritania, Mosley Harmless, Harmony Island, and we won't have Fossil Island this time. So this account won't have birdhouse runs for Sarah Brews. Very reliant on just the old-fashioned hard food methods in top, so or purchasing brews while inside of top. That's how we're going to get most of our brews once this account drops. And then we are going to get this section of Arock. Because we're a bronze, what a bronze man account is it's a standard main with limited trading in the Grand Exchange, right? What you pick up from drops is what you can exchange on the GE. If you don't have it picked up in your bank or earned as a drop, you don't got it in the GE. So it means there's no way to just merch, get a bunch of money, buy whatever gear I want, unless I earn the items the hard way first, right? So we've got some runes and things already, some staves, some gear, some shit like that, just to make, honestly, long-term barrows runs. Because much like the original Swamp Lads account, we're going to have to green log barrows, which means we're going to be doing, and it's also probably our number one method of getting catalytic runes. No, to answer your question, I am not affiliated yet. The stream has been offline for a long time, so you'll probably be the only viewer. So with that said, you gotta love the random people that just pop into your chat. But we'll be getting the Twitch chat set up for this account like we did on the previous one. So I can just read it right here. Yeah. So new account. Now here's what we've done in preparation, right? Wood cutting is effectively trained with standard logs, and so is fire making, all the way to 65. So we did the first 100k or so fire making off of oaks and willows and things like that, because this played as an open free to play account for a while. And we do have a couple of things to finish before we lock ourselves away in Mauritania for a while. Number one, you're going to need Vampire Slayer complete. Because a few goals for this account will be top, Vasani's Nightmare, Barrows, Araxor, and completing the Blood Moon Rises quest. So we still need to do Vampire Slayer. We have done enough farming to unlock oak trees, right? It's one thing we will be doing here, just to slowly speed up, get a little boost to farming, especially early on, is just growing oak trees in the one tree patch we're going to have access to. Debating if I do want to open the 4 squares of Lumbridge and just get access to the full Lumbridge swamps. Because that'll give me 2 tree patches to slowly speed up access to things, but I haven't decided on that. I'm thinking the old-fashioned swampletics farming. Right here. That's it. And we'll get what we need to unlock mostly harmless. We're going to get doesn't, because we're going to unlock the island. That's also make sure that we can do the elite Mauritania diary as well. So we can use the Harmony Island disease-free patch, since it'll end up being the only disease-free herb patch this account will ever have access to. Now, in preparation, especially for top, right? That's why we're going to have access to the GE and some of Varrock. Big thing for Varrock, too, is the anvil to bank ratio, right? We'll smelt, import Phasmatis, we'll smith, and Varrock, because I'm not going to run to sleep for it. I'm going to run to sleep just for smithing, because the best thing we'll do is after, I think, a Taste of Hope, get a Draken's Medallion, which means we can pop in here, run all the way here, pop in here again, bank. That is the smithing method, which might be doable. That's not too bad. But for now, we're going to have access to bank this, bank this, bank this. Right? We're not going to be able to complete any of the Varrock diary, so we have to have this chunk, so it just made sense. We'll open up the 4 chunks of Varrock that matter. We won't have Edgeville, because we have Port Phasmatis. And then once we do the Ghost of Hoy quest, should get the Ectophile, at which point we'll use that for farming and smelting. You might run to sleep and do that method, but I like having the option to just say, fuck that, and go right here. And also that'll give us access to a magic shop, an archery shop, just some things that will kind of help with the low level progress towards barrows. Primarily, we're going to be fletching for access to bows and stuff, but I think you get up to a U short bow. I'm not sure. I know you can pick up a willow short bow here, and then be able to unlock that and be able to use it here. But I haven't decided exactly on starting gear, but here's what we're working with so far. Did heavy barrows prep, right? Swamp bark is obtainable inside of Mauritania only, so that's fine. Obviously, this is the gear I'm going to use to train mage till such time that I can wear swamp bark at 40 defense. We're going basic, U short bow, magic short bow eye, and that's basically just for Aram. Because I've done some research and I've done some testing, especially on the main, and melee only barrows is painfully slow because they have phenomenal tank stats. So ranging Aram makes one of the harder bosses in barrows passable. We're going to have garbage gear otherwise. So I think we'll be able to make up the snake skin, and then, like I said, because it's bronze man, I can't just go get black d'hide or green d'hide or anything like that unless you have it as a drop or pre-existing in your bank. You can't buy it on the GE. It's kind of dope, so it helps restrict things a little bit without the full Iron Man experience. Dupes of items and items I can create can be sold on the GE for profit, which is nice. Now, the 5 advanced endgame items we're going to start with is God Cloak, because it is obtainable in Mortania. What isn't, though, is an Amulet of Fury, a Brimstone Ring, or a Regen Bracelet. So we're going to go Onyx instead of Dragonstone tier jewelry. That's going to help with just general accuracy, because it gives us like a plus 22 melee accuracy and like a plus 27 mage and range accuracy, which will help a bunch. And then obviously defense, 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 tribrid. They're also all tribrid gear. This only adds prayer, which is great, and a tiny bonus to magic, which will be nice. And then obviously in Ava's device, we have Draenor unlocked, so we can get the tier 2 Ava's device for a +4 range bonus. And obviously a lot less hurt on arrow usage or bolt rack usage. And we're going to carry the things necessary to do Ghost Ahoy for an ectophile, so we won't be getting a mountain of ecto tokens just for access to the city for 2 or 3 years, right? Ain't happening. And then one modification to this that I've done is allowing me to pick up ground dropped items, especially when you're doing like Firewatch and people leave free death runes or free nature runes and coal and a bunch of useful bits that they just don't pick up. It's super nice to have those. And I refuse to say no to free blood runes in Mauritania. Sparrows doesn't give those away too often. So as we get higher, it's just, a way to get better access to catalytic runes. And since we won't have rune crafting, we're going to be very drop dependent and GE dependent. So moneymakers are going to be real. Now, what we have set ourselves up with is a full farming experience. We can now purchase more watermelons from the GE to make super compost for herbs. We aren't buying herbs because expensive, but seeds, dirt cheap, dirt cheap, dirt cheap, cheap, kind of expensive, but that was a free drop on the ground. Nastrum seeds for when we start growing our own watermelons, because we will be doing that. So the stuff for Guthix Rest, we'll be able to buy the seeds and the herbs to make the Guthix Rest tea, because you use that top pretty often. Usually I believe it's for like tick eating soap. Yeah. So we're going to start growing tomatoes instead of potatoes, because that is used to make tomato baskets, which is the payment for oak trees. Right? And also I believe tomatoes are the last thing you can protect with marigold. So we'll be doing that primarily for farming. Potato, cabbage, and tomatoes until I can unlock mustard seeds and eventually watermelons at like 47 farming, which is part of why we're going to just farm tomatoes and primarily rely on oak tree saplings. So farming will be a little pricey, but it'll, make us work in our money makers, put in some effort, get some kick-ass shit done. I think it'll be pretty cool. So, Um, but yeah, so we made sure that one, we could do this. Two, we'll be planting the other drops that we get from the various monsters through Mauritania, and we'll be farming those too, just for XP. But we'll get our daily boost from oak trees, or maybe every, what is it? About every 4 hours, give or take. Get like 1,000 some odd XP drop, I think it is. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, 467. Yeah, that's a fair amount of XP at this level. So yeah, bonus 500 XP every few hours for you know Orb runs. We'll do a tree run there, rock, boom, bonus XP. That'll help speed up farming a little bit. Just working herb lore because we're gonna need at least 55 for super strength. Um, we can get the seeds and the herbs to drop, then we may go for super combats. But that means, you know, what, 99 herb lore? Dear God, save me. So max those two things. Guinness. I want to get 72 for range potions, though. Well, I'm not sure how we're going to get Wines and Zamrock. That is questionable. Super strength potion, kind of. Maybe Berber stuck. Definitely prayer potions. We're going to need prayer potions. Not sure how we're going to do snake grass. That's questionable as fuck. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do some research about snake grass. I might make an exception for snake grass. So drop on the ground for that. Because that's. It's gonna be really hard to obtain. Bullshit, good old busher skis. No, it's not deep super combats. Okay. So yeah, we may train up to 90 purely immortal, which is gonna suck. But as we get drops and things, we'll be able to start buying things like the GE, which will really help us make that happen. As you can see, we're still live theory crafting. But, yeah. But we'll work our way up to this because that would be super handy in Mauritania only run. Technically, with the rune crossbow, ruby adamant bolts, enchanted, and super combats, it's doable. But, you know, if we can work our way to so super strength doing super combats, that would be legit. You know, buy Cereberries once we have points. Super restores. If we do, so I think we can get Snapdragon, but not sure about Red Spider's eggs. I don't think you can obtain these in Montania, so that might be a snake grass and red spider eggs, maybe exceptions to allow for the ground drop access that we then can purchase on the GE, because we should be able to get Snapdragon in Mauritania in very small quantities, but especially once we get to doing aberrations in the Slayer Tower, we should have access to those three herbs. These herbs are going to be interesting. Those would be legit too. Yeah. Because I'll definitely want to be able to make prayer potions, super restores, super combats, because that would be freaking helpful. Yeah, we'll get that figured out. Might make some herbal exceptions on secondaries, just so we get one single item drop for those, just because they're. If you buy brews from top, you need super restores. You can get super restores though. The oh yeah, for 3 points you can purchase super restores and brews. That's right. You can also purchase prayer potions and staminas. Okay, so once we do top, we'll get access to prayer potions, brews, and super restores and staminas. In in the raid, so that will unlock them or access to them in the GE. But if I can make them ahead of time, that would be handy. We'll see how that goes. Goes. I don't think there's many monsters that are gonna drop prayer potions either. So let's take a lookie, shall we? Sepulcher can get you prayer potions. Sepulcher is an access to prayer potions too, so we'll definitely be looking into that. We get, I think it's Sins of the Father done for Darkmire access. Hunter high enough, we can do Ninja Implings. If we ever got 92 Slayer, I don't have that in my main yet. It's nuts. But if we ever got it, Araxor could be a source of 4-dose prayer pot. So the Hollowed Sepulcher is going to be our main access to them early on. And then Tav itself could be an access to them. Snake grass. And with snake grass, we're gonna have. Oh, okay, yeah, you just kill the human versions with wolfbane in cannabis. And you can get snake grass from them in like a 1 in 256 drop. Yeah, it's druids. Chaos druids can also drop snake grass on the top of the church in Slip. That can also get us Raynars, Limproot, White Berries, Unicorn Dust. So we'll be able to get access to, we won't have to drop anything over. We'll be able to just do it off of Chaos Druids, so there's no exceptions necessary. That's awesome. I like that. Yeah, there's be a lot of Chaos Druids. 1 in 28 from Chaos Druid Warriors and regular Chaos Druids will be able to make their points after slaughtering the entire civilization of Chaos Druids repeatedly. It'll be fine, but it'll get us everything for prayer potions. Dope. Yeah, like that. So yeah, and since Mauritania is a melee focused region, right? It's one of the better stats to be out there with. It's also easier to train, so we're gonna generally go in with low melee, train that the hard way. We're gonna have decent mage to get started because it's expensive and difficult to train in Mauritania because you get catalytic runes, you don't really get elementals at all. So we're going to be relying on stabs. Now for barrows, we are going to pull out the Mystic Smokestaff. Right. Primary reason being, it's not much weaker than an Aram Staff. It's unlimited air and fire runes. Phenomenal. But it also makes doing the Melee Brothers very reasonable with lower stats. And while we're training up to Slayer Dart, Slayer Dart will also be a great opportunity to do mage training, but once we have a healthy blood rune stack, we want to speed it up. Smokestaff's kind of the way to go. So that's going to give us access to a half decent mage training weapon. Because we're not going to have a Kodai for freezing. We also aren't going to have anything besides snare. So we won't be able to be a freeze at top, which is going to make top pretty hard. Do top. It's going to be an interesting mess. So I think it'll be fun. But we're gonna have our catalytic runes mostly from barrows. We're gonna have lowered barrows rate for a while. I'm gonna do a little research on what quests are necessary for the diary task, because if we can do the hard Mauritania diary, that boosts our barrows runs by over 50% income through runes, really, which would be amazing. So we will be looking at the outside of Mauritania requirements for that, and I will be likely making that a exception. Because I do want to complete the Elite Mauritania Diary. So that would be freaking dope. With that said, though, we have a monumental amount of work to do. And one of the big things we need to finish is Vampire Slayer. So let's go ahead and get on that. Finally, for the first time in ages, start training our melee stats like I've been wanting to desperately. I just didn't want to do it without it being on stream. So, what we will do for now is undo region locker, and then we will Steam staff. That's not staff bear. Where's my staff bear? Here it is. There. Home telly. This is the primary reason we trained magic. So we're gonna have the Solve Graveyard, the Draenor Manor, and Vera, right? So that'll get us Mauritania. We're gonna have this for Avis devices, so if we lose it, we can replace it. Since I've done this quest. But you have to have it for the sins of the Father. So this will be, I think, the very last thing that do outside of Mauritania that isn't in one of our unlocked chunks. I think this is the final thing of prep that I have to do. Slayer. Sounds like a job for us. Snag a thing of garlic. Go to Vera. Can go get the steak. It's down here in the bar. Talk to us. Don't even read the quest helper. I remember this much. This is how you know you played too much RuneScape in your life. If you're ever curious. Let's bring a few gold. Come down here. I think it's one, maybe two beers. I can't remember. Thought it was two beers, if I remember correctly. It's a lush. Study vampire. Count three. Tender. So it's to cheap ale. We have unlocked beer. It's beer, buddy. I'm trying to come back. Be prepared. Vampires, they're hard to kill. Some say impossible. Most vampires are generally you need to solve them. And he knows a few ways. Easiest is a steak. Have this one. Yo. We go. we gonna run there? Another law room, because I'm gonna go live at Chaos Druids for Herblore. And law runes, because they also drop law runes. We're gonna be doing a lot of Chaos Druid for teleports home. Food, but this won't be a problem. Stats. So I came way over prepared with prayer. I remember when I first did this quest like 20 years ago, right? I waited until I had 30 attack, strength, and defense, and full adamant armor. I think it was mining rune essence to make the cash for it. Steak? Is that what I'm missing? Steak, because I'm done. Can't go out that door, so you go out here. Escape knowledge gate. Because I'm dumb and I didn't read. I need a hammer. Fortunately, my days of turning on these will drop just for fun. That to run. 40 agility's good, but it's not that good. Alright, let's take a look at here. The whole collection of dumb shit. One hammer. That trout. So, since we do have one bridge unlocked, we will be able to fish trout and salmon for food. We aren't going to be completely reliant on the food shop. It just kind of depends on what's more not just cost, but time effective. Either killing for drops in order to make the money. If it's, murk 1,000 chickens, pick up all their feathers, and go fishing in Lumberage. Which, we'll have that unlocked because, well, you can access that with Mortania normally anyway. Super helpful. And, it allowed us obviously to train up here, so now we can cook that stuff really well. But we can also do temple trekking for lobster, and do lobster everywhere, which would be it's to settle this athletic series we have. You know that medium tracks at medium difficulty give you everything you need. So I don't expect you to have protect from melee. So yeah, just like that. In order to do the sensitive value, we now have the ability to wield mithril. Cool. Alright. I think that was our last prep. Oh, just a sanity check here. King's Ransom. Staff, which means Fairy Tale Quest. No. No, because you can access the Swampy Boat without. Swampy Boat. Use the Dragon Staff. Okay, so we don't need that. The complete Dwarf Cannon. Is it in the quest anyway? The complete Desert Treasure. To build a Carol portal. To do barbarian fishing training. Lunar diplomacy. Let's see, require village, restaurants, lost city, and the Fremneck trials. Yeah. I don't know about that. There's only really that would give us unlimited bird to run teleports. Bone Crusher. Is it Barrow Chest? Yeah, that's the big thing. Get past the Average Inspector. See, that's easy. Great Brain Robbie, Cabinet People. Of Hallowvale. Continue base quests. Ransom. his grandson. Oh God, we have to do one small favor. Bitch. Want to have a more pure account than really don't want to do one small favor. That quest is fucking awful. That is all Kandarin, I think. Merlin's Crystal, the Holy Grail quest, Black Knight. Would be it's a lot of questing and leveling outside of Mauritania, and I'm not sure I want to really do that because this is a Swamp Linux inspired challenge already filled with options that are outside Mauritania. So, hmm, anything specific? Okay. Do we need to do hard in order to get Bone Crusher? Well, I'll debate that. Maybe we'll take a community. If we get enough people in on this, we might take a community vote on whether or not we do the diaries. Yeah, it's debatable. Not sure. Get the stuff to do. get a Slayer task. Cool. Swap, kill a ghoul. Okay. Do cannons a maybe. Then please get us. Teleport. Teleports the active Octus, which is the same as active. Doesn't have acquired. It's an easy access to Bergdorf. It's debatable. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll do a community vote on that. If we get some streams, we get some people watching them, 20, 30 people available, go ahead and stream, do a vote. Hold off on it for now. Space. So, it's the cooking guild. Yeah, that's so much shit. So, it's good where we had it. It's cool that we got the levels from Vampire Slayer. Just be taking Mithril directly in there. I did decide on adamant tools versus Mithril. Specifically because the hunt is a long, so it's too mining. You've done turns later. So the haunted mine quest. And since that's already minute travel round trip optimized. Um, I figured we'll go ahead, since iron's the best pickaxe in Entertaining App, we're just going to go ahead and lock into that. And we're not going to be able to upgrade our pickaxe ever. So we're stuck with admin for eternity. But that's okay. Get it on the GE. It's fine. It's going to be slow mining admin order, but it's at least passably slow doing coal. So this at least makes coal doable, and we're going to need so much of it. And then obviously, since we're going to be training everything super slow anyway, it's the admin hatchet or admin axe for woodcutting. This we can upgrade to room later once I get like 85? So 86 smithing. 86 smithing. Because the Firewatch dropped. Until then, let's take admin for gathering skills. Yeah. I think we can make a below short bow, but need one. Do I currently we already have maple? Maple view and fletch. Short bow, we'll need the fletch arrows because that is. Sorry. Actually, just killing chickens for feathers and turning these into these, selling all the arrow shafts and buying mithril arrows is going to be the money maker for fletching. So we're gonna need 61 fletching and bolts. 63 minimum. Diamond bolts. 65 would be where we make goals for, though, because diamond tip is super nice at a bunch of things. But rubies is how we're gonna do. Tom, so we need 63 fletching and Sid. $70 something. Okay. The thought bot. So at least 74 smithing, 63 fletching. Be able to make. So, 34 crafting to code those. I think there's a level required to convert rubies into ruby bolt tips. As soon as you can cut a ruby, you can turn it into ball tips. No, you need 63 fletching to make the ball tips and the bolts themselves, so it's a fletching based thing, not a crafting based. Cool. So we only need like 34 crafting. So we're starting with the Fury from now on. Dragonstone, which I thought I'll have to do the world's longest crafting grind. Otherwise, we would need glory. But because of the GE access and the Onyx decision, we only need 30 something crafting, so we're almost done there. We might get higher for like crafting snake skin, stuff like that, but we'll see how that goes. It's also going to make us not need access the spinning wheel. That we can make oak roots or sinew into crossbow strings. That was the other reason to access bridges. It meant I didn't need 99 hunter for lucky implants and then have to go on the lucky implant hunt. I could just get ridiculously high smithing to make, or 91 smithing, I think it is. So, to make the limbs. Smithing for rune crossbow limbs, and then get the ore and the bars, and then be able to make the 69 fletching at least for crossbow stuff. Smithing for the limbs, and then because of the spinning wheel and Lumbridge will have access to, we'll be able to make the rune crossbow. So we won't have to do the lucky implant hunt. Thank God. I wanted to avoid that because Hunter is not fun. It's painfully click intensive. Since if I die, I'm going to end up in Lumbridge anyway. Just going to enable Lumbridge as a zone. We set that swamp check because, you know, we're swamp wets. That's fine. But we really just need it for Death's Office in case I ever need it to recover stuff. So, I think that'll be all theorem crafting for this test episode. I appreciate you guys looking at my hour of nonsense. But that is the new account. That is the game plan. As you can see, nothing else is available. This potentially debating. I may remove this because I don't think we're going to have the combat achievements. The second tier of the hills. Don't see that being likely. Box content. Consider that problem. Okay. Well, I'll keep it anywhere because I do want access to defenders. So if we get into verdict, I can make it a defender. We'll get there someday. But like I said, I think that'll be the episode. We'll stream the next round of playtime. Theory crafting, introduce the account. What you guys have. Not dead. Hopefully, we'll have some viewers and see you again stream. Yeah, or now. And if you want, don't forget to check out our Discord.